Hi everyone, welcome back to JPWHU TV. My name is John, your host as always, and I hope you're all doing well as I always do. This video, as always, is sponsored by the channel sponsor 3retro.com. Please click the link in the description below that will take you directly through to the West Ham section of their website, where you can purchase some really nice retro gear, guys, as seen from up here, including, also for that matter, the 1980 FA Cup final Trevor Brooking shirt like that, but with the Admiral badge on it and also the blue stripes down there. They've been doing it for about a week now. Fantastic. Really, go get it directly from 3 Retro because you'll be going to help Iron Supporting Food Banks if you want to buy that FA Cup final shirt if you didn't buy it when it came out last summer through the club. But there's Admiral, there's other Admiral and Umbro Clout and Blue track jackets, polo shirts, sweatshirts and t-shirts. As I said, any purchases made through the link in the description below, the commission I would normally be getting will be going directly to Iron Supporting Food Banks to help out the continual charity. Now, as I said, I've always, I know I was pushing it quite hard, relatively hard in November, December, but it's not a one-time thing. I want to continuously make sure that we're supporting those in the Newham area that are really, really struggling, especially in this pandemic. You know, because at the end of the day, guys, you know, there are people out there that are a lot worse off than us, and I know you guys have got good hearts. So if you've got the money, by all means, please do make a purchase through there and help me and help them as well to help themselves. So guys, Richie, good evening, mate. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. Andy, good evening, JP. It's been a busy day, but he's staying in the office. Good. At least you're able to get in the office, mate. Cheers to you all, Rick, of course, as well, and Gary. Welcome all, welcome one, welcome all, of course. Now, the thing is, I know I said this in the last week, when the first weekly live chat of this year, but guys, Kent, good evening as well. Guys, I'm genuinely excited, really, really happy that because of your support and your encouragement, not just with these weekly live chats, but with everything else that, you know, the watch alongs for those that can be bothered to remember I do them. The channel that started doing them properly, may add, way before the pandemic, and also you know, and a few other bits of content. Thank you to everybody that has been joining in terms over the last 18 months since I first did the first ever live stream, which is the Leicester away victory towards the end of that season with that Mark Noble absolute baller of a goal that he scored. And yeah, it's been taking me just over 18 months, but I've finally got everything that I need. I've got a microphone for the commentary for the Patreons. I've got a TV mic that's just above here, so you don't see any microphone in here whatsoever. So it's to bring in the conversation completely natural now, like I'm sitting in front of you. So brilliant news, and thank you to everybody that's given me your support. If you like the video, then by all means, please do click the like button. And if you want to show your support completely for free, then by all means, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. If you want to help out and support the channel and improve it in even better, enable me to get some more gear that I need to help you guys to everything, then by all means, please do become a Patreon. There's links in the description below, but that's it. I'm not going to do it after the second week of the month. I never do it after that. But I just want to say to Andy and Rick, thank you very much for being Patreons, and also to Tony, and also to Wally if you're listening as well. So thank you very much, guys. Kent says he doesn't do watch alongs. He prefers to just watch the game. It's just perfect personal preference. It is, absolutely. Does that mean you're not watching it on Irons United then, like you were on the last one, you cheeky bugger? So don't give me that, man. Come on, got a memory up here, son. But yeah, no, honestly, guys, it's been fantastic that you've supported me throughout this, and I've been there to support you as well. Gary asks, what about having Patreon's pictures behind you? Just a thought. Not a bad shout, mate. This isn't a wall, regardless of what it looks like. You can still see there's a bit of a covering down the bottom there, but which is really irritating me. But as I said, won't be able to do that. Brian, hello, mate. Good to see you. 2021 started off exactly as the way as 2020 ended, mate. But I hope you're good. Right, so there's quite a fair bit to talk about. Now, as every now and again, I like to ask you guys what you've been watching or listening to keep yourself sane over the last few weeks. You know, it's just because for me, I know we're all really really struggling with a lot of things at the minute, but for me personally, I did I've been watching Cobra Kai, the current series 3 at the moment, and it's really really good. Richie, not gonna happen. That picture's not going up. But as I say, let me know what you've been thinking, what you've been watching and listening to over the last few weeks to keep yourself sane in this absolutely mental time. As I say, I've been watching Cobra Kai. I absolutely love that series. Only criticism of it is down to the fact that there's a little bit too much fighting in it for my liking. It just seems to be like we need to have fighting in it at some point. I know before you say it, it's all about a karate film and blah blah blah, but there's so much depth to these characters. You don't have to have the fight all the time. It's typical. I can understand why it's Netflix's US #1 program. It's very very good. The character development is really really coming along, but it's just there's too much fighting in it. And I'm alright with fight scenes, but it's bam. It's good. It's good. Watch. It just lasts too long. It really, really does. Really does. Yep, Gary. I was watching The Mandalorian as well. Last episode, really good. Don't get me wrong, but fan service. Now, this is what I don't like about Star Wars under Disney. It's all fan service. It's the ending of the third series of The Mandalorian completely wipes out the fact. Well, it potentially completely wipes out the fact that Luke Skywalker was training Grogu, and it completely wipes out the fact that he was supposed to be training Ben Kenobi. So in a way, it wipes out a third of the trilogy of sequel story, and it's not really because for those that know the species of Yoda, if they take a long time to age. You know, Yoda was over 300 years old when he died in Empire Strikes Back. Sorry, end of Return of the Jedi, I should say. So, it's a bit inconsistent in terms of everything, but for good reason, because the Star Wars trilogy sequels were terrible. They were, again, fan service, set pieces, blah blah blah. And that's Ken. I don't have Netflix either, mate, but there's ways of watching it. Really is ways of watching it. If you want to know how I'm doing it, by all means message me on Facebook, mate, and I'm more than happy to give you the details of the bloke I know can arrange it, but it's really, really worth watching. Andy says he's on his third time round watching Suits. Again, really enjoy that show. It's long and every show is different. Yeah, it's good. I like Marsley. I absolutely love that stuff. Really, really is good. But yeah, but anyway, so that's that. And of course, Ken says he's scared to death at the numbers at the moment. I haven't seen Cobra Kai third series. Don't have Netflix, but other than that, but yeah, as I say, he's scared to death of the numbers, and I understand that, Ken, because obviously you would have read saying, because I know you're keeping as close an eye on it as I am at the minute, that the Moderna vaccine is going around at the moment. That's been given the green light. I think it was started on Monday, if I remember correctly. So there are 3 versions of the vaccine available to the general public now. Obviously not available in the way we would like, but they are starting to come out as much as possible. Now, this is the thing, Ken. I'm glad you brought this up, because now I'm as for those that have been watching the channel for a little while, I like to try and look at things from all angles, not just the angle. Ben, good evening, mate. Hope you're all right. Good to see you again. I like to see everything from all angles, not just the crap that we're given in the news. Now, what I'm saying about that is it's a bit to a degree, right? I'm not coming out as being a conspiracy theorist and everything, but to a degree, it's a little bit too convenient for my liking, or anyone that's properly sat down and thought about this, that since the vaccines have been issued out, the numbers are growing. Over the last 2 weeks, the numbers have slowly started to go down a curve. But at the same point, it puts me in mind of the flu vaccine, right? Now, as I say, I'm not saying that the two are related in any shape or form. It's a little bit too convenient for my liking, right? Because because the whole point of the flu vaccine is it gives you a very, very minimal dose of the flu in order that your body can adapt to it. Now, Richie, you're absolutely right. It doesn't stop you from getting COVID. It's a preventative measure. It's not fully safe. But as I say, so my line of thinking in it is just down to the fact that maybe the vaccine itself again has a small amount of COVID in order for your body to adjust and make the antibodies. And it may be. I was like, I'm just speaking hypothetically here, or hypothesizing, whatever you call it. But for me personally, it's a little bit too convenient with the timing. Now, as you guys have said, it's fantastic that the vaccine's been dished out and in different guises, and there are reports that people have having their second dose before certain people have, or any person for that matter, has had the first. So that's a cock up on the NHS's point, but nothing to do with the government. Before anyone starts whinging about it, but for me personally, I just think there's a little bit more to it. I've always said on certain things, when it comes to the media, there's always more than what we're being fed, and I just think it's a little bit too convenient from one point of view, that we're having a new strain around about the same time the vaccine comes out. Yeah, it's a bit weird. Andy says, Milesy says, what I am more worried about is they think the spike will be around again in February. Hope it's not as bad as what it is now. Hopefully, Milesy, by that point, we should a lot more people should be vaccinated. Because was it 3 million or something has been vaccinated as of today. I think something like that, close to 3 million. I know it was 2 point something yesterday. And there's was it 40,000 have had their second doses. So it's getting there, but a new spike is inevitable at some point, Milesy. It really, really is, because at the end of the day, once the restrictions are being lifted, more of the minority people are going to go back to living their lives as normal, and that's the problem. But it's going to have to come a time when we're going to have to get used to it. It really is going to have to come a time when we're going to get used to it. We are not seeing any football live until at least the start of next season. Personally, that's my opinion. That's just the way things are going. There's no way we're going in by the end of May. No way. Can't see it at all. But again, I want to be proven wrong. Richie says, was reading today about the old people's homes where they've had no COVID, and after 7 days of having the vaccine, 24 people died. Yeah, because this is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's just the fact that it is giving people that on it. So technically, it could be down to that, or it could be another number of other things, of course. Like, for example, when we lost Dad to cancer, his official death certificate said that he died due to an upper respiratory tract infection, which is true to a degree, because he picked up an infection in hospital and unfortunately never came out. But which is what is known in certain terms as the proximal cause. When in actual fact, it's the distal cause, because the proximal cause, i.e. the main reason why he was in hospital, was because of his cancer, not because of the tract infection. But because that was the thing that killed him. Dad goes down under the stats, the statistics, as someone passing away due to respiratory tract infection, and not a cancer death. This is how things can get easily manipulated. Gary says the problem is it's not a lockdown like lockdown 1. Everyone has had enough, so it's only going to get worse. Possibly. Young Jake, good evening, mate. Hope you're okay. And Walshy says I'm in the 13 million category who should have had it by mid-late February. Cool. Well, keep us posted on that, mate. Let us know. So obviously basically within the next, where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10 weeks, you should have had it. So let us know. Richard says, same as all these false positives with the PCR tests, but they count them to keep the numbers up. Yeah, possibly, mate. Very, very possibly. Very, very possibly. Gary says, get Jake on here, mate. Love that young man. Not for the live chats, unfortunately, mate. But Jake, if you want to come on, I'm more than happy to do a conversation with you, sunshine. Not with the on this particular format, but yeah, I'd be happy to get him on there at some point. If you want to come on, let us know. Contact me on Twitter, on Facebook. I think your dad follows me on there. He certainly follows me on the channel account on Twitter. So get in contact, mate. More than happy to have anybody on that wants to come on. Everyone knows that. So get yourself in. Get yourself in. Richie says, off topic. Where did you get the jumper? Loving it. I can't remember actually, mate. Actually, I think I talked about it a few weeks ago. I can't remember. I'll let you do. I'll contact you on Twitter afterwards. Once I can remember where I got it from, I'll send you the details over, mate. But I think I saw it in an advert on Facebook or something. But anyway, now of course, obviously on Friday we had the live chat on Friday afternoon about Snodgrass and Allaire leaving, and few of you obviously were in on that. But for those that weren't involved in that conversation, give me your thoughts on that. Now the dust has settled a little bit on that. I mean, obviously Snodgrass was inevitable, as was Allaire to a degree, but just not in the way that's happened. Let me know your thoughts on that while I catch up with the chat. Kent says, I think it could be even longer about going football. They were also talking about festivals struggling to get insured because of government could call it off. I think you mean with very little notice. Yeah, you look at what Parker said today about their match against Fulham later tonight. Same thing. A lot, we are gonna. I hate to say it, but I genuinely do think that we've got another 8 to 10 months of this. I really, really do. The way things are going at the minute, unless there's a miracle, I think we're heavily into autumn before anything starts getting back to normal, which is a real shame. Because there's loads of gigs I still want to go to. There's loads of, I obviously want to get back to the ground, of course, and have a pint with all you guys. What we were talking about. I mean, there's even mutterings from the conspiracy theorists that it may not even be until May till the pubs open again. We just have to take one day at a time. Unfortunately, like everybody's thinking about football, you just take it one game at a time. It really is difficult. It really is difficult. Now, of course, Andy says, Walshy says, both leaving were inevitable. To be honest, may not till the summer with Allaire, but hey ho, yeah. Richie says, would like to have kept Snods just for his banter in the videos. Yeah, he's a great guy, and we're definitely going to miss him. There's an interview that Angelo Ogbonna did. It's up on the West Ham website and the YouTube channel where he talks about sorry, not that. It was a good interview, but I'm talking there's Antonio on just the Judy on the Judy podcast, and he gets asked a few questions. He said, player that's most likely to become a manager. He says Snodgrass. Could see it. I reckon it could be interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that. All she says, I heard the pubs are opening the 30th of February. Oh dear. Good one there, mate. Yeah, love that. Thank you. Oh, always nice to hear Andy's moods. Ben said, I'd rather we had kept not Snodgrass until the summer, but as a squad player, agreed. But he would have left for a free, then the club wouldn't have got any money out of it. Even though we would have had a price of a takeaway from Allardyce for him, but nah. Richie says, pubs here in Spain have to close at 5 p.m. Have to drink. Have today drink now. Richie, I think you've already been on the beers by the looks of it. Ken says, noble for Gaffer student of the game. Agreed. But Tony's not here, and I think Walshy, we were talking about and he asked us, did we get a fee for Snoddy? Very, very. I haven't seen anything. If it is, it would have been very, very minimal. Absolutely minimal. Yeah, Richie, exactly. £100,000, if that. I genuinely think if that. But we have to get something. But yeah. But as I say, because I know Tony Armstrong's been banging on about Tony Armstrong. Tony's been banging on about Adam Armstrong. So I thought we could actually just go through his details. He's not the main target. But funnily enough, he's a right-footed player. How many times are we linked with a right-footed player? Adam Armstrong at Blackburn, 23 years old. Natural position, centre forward. About bloody time we're looking at players that have a natural position in a striking role. Can also play left wing and right wing as well. I know Kent's going to bang in on this because I know he's itching to say a few things. He always is when I talk about players. He's currently he's valued at, on transfer market at 9 million quid, so 15 million for him possibly from there. He's had 22 appearances, 6 goals and 3 assists. Not bad for us. 23-year-old centre forward in the Championship. Been booked 3 times. Andy says so we were playing at left back then. But yeah, I know a lot of people have been talking about him. I haven't got the slightest idea who this guy is. But you know, he's been in the starting 11 96% times, 96% of the time so far this season. He can also play second striker, attacking midfield and centre midfield as well, which is very, very good. I'm very happy with that. Versatile player. Really do like that. As a centre forward, throughout his entire career, he was at Newcastle under 21s and then did play for Newcastle in the Premier League. Then went to Barnsley, then Bolton, and then Blackburn. So he's been around a little bit. He's been around a little bit. Centre forward playing it in his career. I mean, not bad for 23 to be fair. You know, made his first start in the Premier League in 7 years ago, almost 8 years ago now. 13-14 season. Made 4 appearances for Newcastle then. So he would have been very, very young at that point. Here we go. I told you Kent would weigh in with this. Like Adam Armstrong is like Andy Johnson, who Moyes had at Everton. Will run channels and play on the shoulder of the last defender. Newcastle have a big selling clause on him. Understandable. May have been taken out because he's had a couple of clubs. He's had another club since going from Newcastle to Bolton, but we'll have to see. And he says he's watched him many times. He is amazing forward. Surprised no one has got him already. Great pace, good finisher, and doesn't panic in front of goal. Yeah, his stats seem to prove that, and I really, really like that idea. Yeah, but apparently, and I say apparently because there's nothing really confirmed, just a few things here and there, that Moyes' actual number 1 target is 22-year-old. I think he is. Where are we? Sorry, 24-year-old Boyele Daya at Stadio Remis, or however you pronounce it. Ken says no, Blackburn bought him from Newcastle 2 million. Not according to anyway, mate. That's by the by. Good morning, Kieran. Hope you're right, mate. But with him, he's had 17 appearances, 12 goals and 1 assist so far this season in Ligue 1 over in France. In the starting 11, 84% of the time, and has participated in 48% of goals. So that's really, really good. But let's just concentrate on his details itself. Again, right-footed player, 24 years old. Natural position, centre forward. Loving that. Right position. Can also play on the right wing. Really, really like that. Really good. Really, really thinking it. But this screams Sullivan. I know a lot of people are saying that that apparently Dia is or Dia, however you pronounce it, is he is Moyes' number 1 target. This just screams Sullivan to me. It genuinely does scream Sullivan. Out of the 2, if I'm honest with you, because Dia is valued on transfer market at 10.8 million, so maybe again 15-16 million pound. Personally, Armstrong sounds more. I don't know anything about either player, but Armstrong sounds more of the player we should be really going for. A little bit younger, knows the Premier League, ripping it up in the Championship from what it appears. That's kind of the player that I feel we should be going for, and that really should be our number one target. But I don't think we'll be able to afford it. So Dia being the actual target that Moyes wants. Again, I don't believe in that. I genuinely think it is more Sullivan. Tony from Rhoda and Tony, hello, good morning, both of you. Just want a striker with electric pace, no more statues. Completely agreed. Andy Milesy says, for me, the Championship is a tough league and more physical than the French league, in just his opinion. Yep, that's what I'm saying. Exactly right. Exactly the same thing. You know, the Championship is a bastard to get out of, and the Premier League is a bastard to stay in if you don't do your job right. It really is. Kent agrees with me. Can't see Dia being Moyes' choice because Moyes wants to scout the player. Dia is quick and strong. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, mate. It screams Sullivan. It genuinely screams Sullivan. Now I'm quite glad, I should say, that a lot of people aren't coming out. Oh yeah, is he brilliant? Blah 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 blah. Because it just proves that you guys aren't. Just proves that you guys aren't the same little idiots that we get to see on Twitter and Facebook saying, yeah, I watched them all the time. He's fantastic. It'll be a coup. Blah 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 blah. Kieran Davis. Kieran asks, can Armstrong take us to the moon? Thank you for that. Now, apparently, we found out the other day why Issa Diop hasn't been in the squad or training, for that matter, with West Ham for the last few weeks. Apparently, he had an unspecified niggle, which I'm not really sure. That sounds like a falling out to me. But apparently, he's back. According to Clarence Hugh, he is back training for the Burnley game. And I'll obviously go into it in more detail for the preview of the Burnley game on Saturday. Now, but now it's, you know, that's the thing. Cheers, Molshy. Andy's done some editing in there to get his Miles's done some editing in there to get his point across. I said whenever a striker comes in, I can see Moyes maybe reverting for 4-4-2, and his staff has really sorted the defective side. Also, defensive side, I think you mean, rather than the defective side. And Antonio having a strike partner could open more gaps for others. Could do, mate. Yeah, it's a fair point. You know, we'll have to wait and see, of course. Now it was worrying seeing that after the Stockport game, which we'll come on to in a minute, of course. That's in actual fact, no, we'll talk about that in a minute, guys. Give me your Stockport thoughts, guys, because not many of you. Where are we? Here we go. Not many of you were actually in the chat for the live reaction because it was completely spontaneous. I thought, you know what? I've done a commentary for the Patreons, so let's do a live conversation for it. Give me your thoughts on the Stockport game. I know what a lot of you are going to say. I really know what a lot of you are going to say. But I thought we did okay. I thought we did all right, if I'm honest. I thought we did all right. I kind of not that it was typical West Ham in the FA Cup. Not going to blame the pitch because players should be professional enough to be able to play on a boggy pitch, of course. But for me, it was typical West Ham. It really, really was. And the commentary, I was shouting, not shouting, but it's like, come on, movement, watch your spacing. Every single game, spacing. And that's the problem. But Stockport were brilliant. Stockport really, really did their homework. They really, really got to us, and on full credit to them. Absolutely full credit to them. Very, very impressed with how Stockport played. And I even tweeted to them yesterday when I saw their tweet about how disappointed the official count was. I said, you guys have done absolutely brilliant. Looking forward to. I literally said to them, you know, you did your homework. All the players played out of their skins. And I said, looking forward to seeing you in the Football League because and I wish them luck for the rest of the season. But yeah, you know, it's from a West Ham perspective. Like Ken, I wasn't impressed at all. Wasn't impressed. Should have done a lot more. But as he says, we're through. Miles E says, doesn't matter how we win. Look at the Man United against Watford. Yeah, Brighton beating Newport and Pens bring on Doncaster. Yeah, totally, man. Totally agree with you. Richie says conditions were terrible and Stockport defended well. A win is a win. Yeah, in the FA Cup. Yeah, absolutely. And we could really pick the bones over everything, but we do it every week anyway, so there's no real point. There's nothing out of the ordinary there. Kieran says hard watch, but we're through. Just yeah. Should be a full stop there, Kieran. But as you're an Aussie, let you go away with that one sport. Tony says can't complain as it's yet another win in the FA Cup. That's all that matters. Agreed. Totally agree there, Tony. Totally agree there, mate. But after the game, Moyes came out and said that the reason why Dawson was on the floor as he was against against Everton. Sorry, I was about to say Brighton, but Everton is because he has low blood sugar. So, so to a degree, this is down to this will be to a degree. This will explain why Dawson isn't playing for teams like Man City or even us on a regular basis. There's always when there's a player you can see he's got he has and had massive potential in his ability to play. Now, this is a medical issue that he's got. So maybe he's not keeping tabs on it himself, and maybe the medical team weren't aware that he had low blood sugar. Although that should have popped up in his medical, in the medical. But yeah, absolutely, Walshy. So it looks like he's diabetic. Yeah, because that's what a low means. What having a low blood sugar is, and the club are worried about it to a degree. But if he can get his injections done properly and his diet is amended as a result of it. Kieran, you asked exactly the question I was about to say. Would you sign him now? Would you have him on a permanent deal? Personally, yes, I legitimately would, purely as backup. But at the same point, he deserves to be playing every single season. So it would be every single game for the season, I should say. So it'd be very, very nice for us to. I'm always banging on saying 2 players for each position. Done. 2 players at centre back and 2 players in reserve. Perfect. Now, obviously, we need to give him a bit more time because there's no point saying it's because we can say he's had two games in the Premier League and 1 game in the Cup. Too early to sign him. But if he continues that vein of form, because apparently there is an option to buy at the end of the season, fantastic. Completely would sign him up. If he keeps, in the next 10, 12 games, keeps playing the way he's playing, bam, sign him up. Get the deal done. And it'll be announce it just as the day after the season closes. Boom. Perfect. That's exactly what I would do. Richie says diabetes is something that can be managed. Agree. That's what I'm saying. That if he and the medical team manage it between the pair of them, be sorted. Ken says Burnley will tell us where we finish this season and how much we have improved if we beat them, because we struggle to beat them. Them kind of teams normally. Yeah. Again, Kent, watch my preview when it comes out on Friday on YouTube, and I know you've got an opposition watch on your Facebook channel. Your Facebook page, Kent Hammers. Even though you're under those Kent Irons, but that's cool. Rick Cougar says, Gargo even says yes. I would have Dawson. I bet you would, mate. Ben Davis says 4th round tie against Donny in the next weekend. Yep, the weekend of the 23rd of January. I know it says on the Saturday at the minute, but it'll be any time between the Friday and the Mondays, or possibly even the Tuesday. The way things are going at the minute with COVID legals, but yeah, 23rd. And then if we beat Donny and we get through to the Liverpool and Man United in the 5th round, that's potentially at the moment could be around about the 10th of February, again depending on the schedules of who's where and what channels want to broadcast what game and all that sort of stuff. And Milesy says I said he would take Dawson. He has really proved Andy wrong. I doubt him being on very high wages either, and the Dildo brothers love a cheap deal like our new director. Love cheap like our new director. Well, she says, I'm glad he's proving the hate is wrong. 100%. I was like everybody when it was announced. I was reserved judgment. I said, I'm not positive about it, but we give them a chance. I always say that all signings, give them a chance and see how they do. And he's not a relegator, even though he was relegated with his 2 previous teams. It just shows you how shit those teams were. If he's putting in performances like that for West Ham, and we're coming away with clean sheets, it just shows you the gulf of how much of a change that has been so far this season. Once we play the Tuesday night game against West Brom, that's halfway through the season. That really is generally halfway through the season. Richie says, to be fair, nobody wanted him, and he's proved us all wrong. Ben Clarkson seems to be the captain at the back already. Yeah, agreed. Kieran says, give us another spot for a loan. Makes sense to sign him. It will, totally. Kent says Dawson will be good against scrappy teams. He started at Rochdale and made it a fighter. Yeah, made it as a fighter. Totally, completely agree with you there, my old mate. But the worrying thing is you guys would have seen as well that. Hang on, just as Tony's coming in his comment there. Hopefully, if we get to the 5th round, we play that game around mid-February. As big clubs will be back. We're back playing in Europe. Yeah, it will. They will. Because Liverpool, I guarantee Liverpool and Man United for that matter, either side, given the table as it stands at the moment, before the rest of the games finish, will be prioritising their European challenges and their cup challenges respectively. Both of them will. Because there's more money in finishing in the Champions League and getting quite far in the Champions League, and there's more money in quite getting through to the Europa League than there is in the FA Cup. And of course, both teams will be priorities in where they finish in the table as well. So could it work to our advantage? We'll have to wait and see. Now, as you would have seen tonight, it's supposed to be Villa Spurs, but that was chalked out because of COVID, and also there's another Villa game that's also in doubt as well. So the big question is, should we really have this? It should now be the time. Should now be the time when we see clubs suspending the league for a couple of weeks. Genuinely think we should. For one club to have 2 games suspended for the next for the space of 2 football weeks. The same club, big issue. Big issue. Oh, Marsley, thank you very much, mate. Donated a £5. Thank you. The proper animation will come up in just a few seconds. But his dinner's just arrived. He's turned up Nando's. Marsley, did you get your Did you probably won't say this, but did you get your potatoes? Did you get your mash and your sweet? What was it? Mash and sweet corn, I think. Gonzo was talking about last week. But have a beer and have a beer on me, JP. Thank you very much, mate. Well, I've got a Guinness here. So thank you very much. To your health, dear boy. But thank you. That's very, very generous of you. Very, very generous of you. Thank you very much, Andy. Much appreciated, me old mate. Robert Singleton, welcome back, mate. Hope you're alright. There we go. Just as he clocks off, there he goes. Confirmation that is of Andy's super chat. Robert asked, and we should have a striker by then. Yes, we should. Ideally, mate. Yes, ideally. But because also you guys would have seen as well that the FA Youth Cup has been suspended because of COVID. Why? I'll tell you why. Mash and chips. Thank you, Robs. That's what he's talking about. Mash and chips. Thank you. I know it was mash. It was something like that. But anyway, why was the FA Youth Cup suspended? Nothing to do with the amount of cases, because we're seeing the exact same amount of cases in the in the Premier League. Hello, Mark. Late to the party as always, mate. You're paying the tab, son. Exactly, Kent. Because there's no money in it. Exactly right. There's less money at stake than the adult league or the men's league, whichever way you want to look at it. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that yet again we're talking about this. Everybody's talking about it. And I'm not just saying it because everyone else is talking about it, but this is the thing. It's ridiculous. Right, so it looks like Mark and WHU are going to have their lovers catch up. um, but yeah, so where we go. So Rick says yes, they should have. They should. Your spelling, mate. Honestly, uh, they should suspend the league for the leak link in football is not everything. It's not everything in life. It will affect everyone. The players, many have staff, have staff and football referees. And to continue on with that vein you gone on, their families as well, for that matter, the friends, the partners, etc., etc. Milesy says he's got double chicken wrap, medium spice with spicy rice and peri peri chips. Oh, that sounds gorgeous. Enjoy yourself, mate. Just make sure you make sure you get the you you keep yourself on the toilet for the next couple of days, mate, because that sounds like it's going to run straight through you. But that does sound really nice. Medium spice. Ah, too naughty. Richie says, let's get into at least 6th place then and end the season so we can get into Europe for next season. Nah, it's not going to happen, son. I don't think. I see your optimism in there, and absolutely, I'll take it 100%. But it's just not going to happen. And I know Richie commented on this. Is the last thing I want to talk about. So I know you guys have got your questions, so get them in now, and we're getting to, and of course ask each other questions as well as me, because we're all here together talking to each other. But as we would have seen over the last few days, Sullivan Jr. and Sullivan's partner are now on the board. Haven't got an issue with David Sullivan Jr. being there. Haven't got an issue with that at all. I know a lot of people have, but he's heavily involved. He's heavily involved in the women's team, in which is and Gold's family as well. Yeah, it was one. What was it? The wife of David Gold. Was it Jackie Gold? I think it was. No, Mark, we haven't, unfortunately. And Andy says he's eating it in the bathroom. Robertson, why can't but stores? But I think let me just rejig that. Why can't stores be stores? Why can't close? Hang on, what? Stores. Why can't close stores? Why can't be closed? Why can't stores be closed? I think is what he's asking, for 3 or 4 days. Everyone has a fridge and freezer these days. Yeah, but if you're going to close supermarkets, mate, it's going to cause panic, massive panic, worse than it was when the first lockdown came in, and 10 times worse as it was when the new one came in as well, because people again were out there panic buying. They really were panic buying. Richie says paying the family wage, and then when they sell up, all the directors get a bonus, robbing more money out of the club. Yeah, it's my kind of thinking on it. It does feel like a tax dodge. It really does feel like a tax dodge. They'll sell the club for a decent amount, which means they come out and say we pocketed this, we pocketed that, blah blah blah. We add it all together, bonuses, and paybacks and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Andy says we can all live on Nando's for 4 days. But yeah, guys. So is there anything that you guys want to talk about? I know most of you have your platforms on Facebook and Twitter and everything, but is there anything that you guys want to talk about? And he says we have more directors than wingers now. Richie said he's never had Nando's. It's not all that nice, mate. If I'm honest with you, it's not all that nice. It's all right. I can see why people do like it, but it's not. The fattening. Nando's is fattening, and Kent says, are they fattening the turkey up, John? In your opinion? Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, they are. Richie says we have more tea ladies than strikers. But yeah, it's interesting though, because as I say, it's times are weird at the minute. Times are weird in West Ham, but everything's come back to normal. Tony says I feel that we will not sign anyone this window. Thoughts? Yeah, distinctly possible. We're not the only club in this position, unfortunately. There's stories coming out that Wolves aren't going to be able to make any signings this January because they haven't got any money either. Now that worries me. that worries me about how bad certain clubs are. I mean, I know we're in shit creek, without a paddle, and a massive bloody hole in the canoe. Don't get me wrong, but if a team like Wolves, who've consistently ended up higher up the table than we have had more money coming in than we have, not just because of the table position, but the money from the Europa League challenges they've been doing for last season and again this season and everything. And Wolves haven't got any money. I would be worrying. I would worry about that. Richie says, saw Fat Sam wants Josh King. Fingers crossed he goes there and not to us. Well, maybe. You never know, mate. Ben Davis says, do you think Fabianski will get a new deal? Possibly. Couple of years, maybe. There was rumours coming out that he's going to sign a 2-year deal extension. Ken Emma says, Sky just said Arsenal's lost to 3 million per home game. Same as ours, mate. Same as ours. Our loss is about 2.5 to 3. For a club like Arsenal and a club like West Ham, it's not big. It's only big when it needs to be big. This is the thing. Our gate money, all football supporters hate this, but our gate money doesn't pay the club the way that it used to. Let me just hang on. I've just got to sort something out with the microphone, guys. Hang on 2 seconds. Yeah, sorry about that. I just needed to move it slightly. But yeah, our gate money doesn't support the club in the way that it used to before the Premier League and the big TV deal that it is now. Yeah. So, but that's the thing. Tony says, then there is no way they are going to stop league and risk TV money. Exactly. That's half the problem. Kieran says, I do believe that we will sign at least 2 players. I'm not too worried. Well, I am worried, mate. I can't see where 2 players are coming from. I really can't. Not with the way that the finances are. I really can't. The way that the club is pertaining the finances are, I should say. Kent says he's got an option on Fabianski, I believe. Yep, apparently it's a 1-year deal extension on his contract as usual, but apparently he's in line to do a 2 or 3, one of the 2. And he says, for me, I would get Nick Pope or Sam Johnson. Would love Henderson, but will cost a lot. He will do. Pope will cost a lot as well, for that matter. I really rate him, Milesy. I really rate him. All she says, just hope whoever we get in striker-wise is a Moyes signing and not a Sullivan vanity one. Well, as we were talking about earlier, mate, if it is going to be Dia, that's Sullivan. That's got Sullivan screamed all over it. Armstrong is a Moyes style signing. He really is. Kent says Johnson is the cheapest option. Yep. I mean, to be honest, I don't know who Sam Johnson is, so I'm not going to Sam Johnston, I should say. I can't make any comment. But Pope, I've loved for a year. Absolutely lovely. I've been wanting to see him I'd love to see him at West Ham. Really would genuinely love to see him. If we do get sold and the money and we have some money coming in, then absolutely. Then yeah, I would go all out for Nick Pope. I genuinely wouldn't have Fabianski as backup in his last season or something like that. Marzi, does anyone want a Peri chip? Counter says West Brom keeper and an ex-Man U keeper. Cool, good keeper, only young. Yeah. Let's not forget, Adrian was 24, 25 when we signed him. TSA, welcome, mate. Hope you're alright. So people laughed at Dawson when he arrived. Look who's laughing now. Yeah, Dawson's laughing a lot from what I'm seeing. Especially that celebration he did. I think was it like that? He ran around like that. Well, she says, will it be here and still warm? Kent says Henderson would be his choice. Yeah, great. If we had the money, yeah, I'd go for Henderson. Totally, mate. I think he's fantastic. He's been brilliant for. I think it'd be brilliant for. I think it's been brilliant for Sheffield United. I really do. I think it's Henderson, isn't it? Yeah. Richie says, I have a feeling we will get a couple of players in. Hopefully, Slavia Prague have some players left for us. Agent Socek. Yeah. Darth Vader, hello mate, good to see you again. Said hope we get Adam Hosliek. I haven't seen his name being linked to anything, and again, mate, I don't know who he is, but if you like him, fair enough. It's your opinion. That's perfectly fine. Never knew the Jedi were so heavily entranced with with West Ham. So yeah, we're going to go for another few minutes, guys. Anything else you want to talk about? There's not really much else to talk about. We've covered all the main topics. Kent's talking to Darth about what he's talking about. Anyway, so for me, Declan Rice looks so happy on and off the pitch, which is still amazing. And he does and no, sorry, he's off the pitch, which is still amazing. And he does realise he's still young and wants to be part of our adventure and will party when the owners go. I don't think that side of it, mate, to be honest with you, but because he doesn't know the club is in and out as well as we do. But yeah, all right, Darth, yeah, Jedi turned Sith. Tony says, how many times have large European clubs sold average players to clubs like West Ham for massive money? That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's the one thing that West Ham haven't been in the position to do yet, is to sell big when we buy big. And hopefully one of these days we will. Now, as you guys would have seen, Man City beat Brighton tonight. And they're on 29 points with 2 games in hand. So could be, or 1 game in hand now, I think it is. So could be very, very interesting to be what happens over the weekend. They could potentially go back into the top 4. Kent says, a Larry above comment. What do you mean, mate? Do you want me to read the above comment? Richard says, I would love if when we sold Rice, it didn't go to Chelsea. Hopefully they would shut up then. I don't think he is, mate. I'm getting sick of this. It's boring reading all this Rice to Chelsea stuff. It bores the hell out of me. Genuinely, that bores me. Rick says, Darth Vader says, look at article spell. I have. That's what we've been talking about since you clocked in. Otherwise, we wouldn't be going for 40, 50 odd minutes, to be fair. Articles are one thing, mate, but everyone's got lives to lead. TSC says, I'm so happy Hilaire is gone. Fair enough. A lot of people are relieved, that's for sure. Hilaire, average European club selling for big money. Yeah, agreed. TSC says, it's boring as fuck. Chelsea fans just shut their mouths out already. Yeah, agreed. Kieran says, last July I was looking forward to watching West Ham in Brisbane. Little did we know what would happen. Totally, mate. Unfortunately, it's sad to see that. Tony says, if I was dumped by Chelsea, I would never go back. Look, Duff, don't come on here and try and cause arguments with people. I don't do things. I've got a life to lead. I work during the week, yeah, and my life isn't solely around football. I read what we talked about. You would have seen that this was available at 7 o'clock. If you'd have been at 7 o'clock, you would have seen all we've talked about. So don't come in here and giving it the mouth. Don't do it. Show a bit more respect. Which clearly shows you a school kid. Andy Miles has just been sent this. If Man United hadn't been awarded a penalty, they would have been joint second with Liverpool. If Liverpool hadn't either, that would be 10th place. Imagine if we had a couple. Mate, we'll never get a penalty. We never do. I'll be very surprised if we get a penalty by the end of the season. Ken says, I like Hilaire, think he's a quality player. He's a quality player, mate, when he's used right. He's used right. That's the thing. We've all been saying it. He's not been used right. Richie says, does anyone go on to other teams' Twitter and interact? I never do it, but other teams love coming on ours for some reason. Yeah, it's because at the end of the day, they know that it's coming up to. They know they can irritate people. West Ham fans seem to get more riled up than anyone else, and that's saying something. Darth says it's so annoying looking at transfer news. It's not news, it's rumours. Everything is Liverpool. When City won the league, it was just who's going to beat them. Agreed. But as I say, mate, it's not news. It's not news because it's people's opinions. It's not fact. None of it's based on fact. It's what they heard from some bloke. And even with Sky Sports go through Twitter and say, "Oh, reliable sources," because people are talking about it on Twitter. No. Well, she says, same here, Ken. I think he's a good player. There is a good player in that. Yeah, he wouldn't have got an assist on his debut appearance if he wasn't. That's the thing. All right, guys. So let's pretty much wrap it up there because we seem to be we seem to be in a bit of a vortex here. Okay. At the moment, so I hope it's not too cold over there as I'm off to the beach. Thanks, Tony. Thanks very much, mate. It's not too bad actually. It's cold, but it's not ridiculously cold. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching as always, and thank you to everybody that's participated in the chat. It's always great to talk to you guys. Fantastic. I'll be recording the preview for the Burnley game tomorrow, which will be ready for the patrons by tomorrow night, hopefully. And they're not available on Friday. Saturday we'll have the watch along for the Burnley game, so please come and join me as well for that. Friday we will also have the live update of the Fantasy League table movements as well. So guys, thank you very very much for your time. All he's off to climb a building. See, all the best, guys. Take care, and I'll see you very very soon.